Lionel Messi just broke a 60-year-old World Cup record, and in the biggest match of his life, he had 0 shots on goal. Both of those things happened in the exact same tournament. 20 career World Cup goals, 12 career World Cup assists, passing Pelé's mark, which stood for almost 60 years. 6 knockout stage goal contributions in this tournament alone, more than Pelé, more than Mbappé, more than anyone in the last 60 years of this competition. And in the single biggest match of his life, the World Cup final against Spain, he had 54 touches, 0 shots, and an expected goals number of 0.03 across 120 minutes. ESPN's own studio panel called Argentina's performance in that final a complete and utter disgrace. Some outlets rated Messi around a 3 out of 10, and the Golden Ball, the award for the best player of the entire tournament, didn't go to him. It went to Spain's Rodri. So here's the actual question nobody's answering properly. How does a man break an almost 60-year-old scoring record, dominate an entire World Cup for 6 straight weeks, and still walk away from the final whistle looking like the worst version of himself anyone's seen in a decade? Let's start with the numbers, because they're almost unbelievable on their own. Across this entire World Cup, Messi finished with 8 goals and 4 assists. 33 career World Cup goal contributions in 33 career World Cup games, a 1-to-1 ratio across 6 different tournaments spanning nearly 2 decades. He became the first player, man or woman, to reach 20 career World Cup goals. He passed Pelé's assist record. He now has more World Cup knockout stage goal contributions than any player in 60 years. Argentina themselves went on an 11-game unbeaten run at this World Cup, dating back to their 2022 title, the longest unbeaten streak in the country's World Cup history. By almost every statistical measure that exists, this was, at 39 years old, one of the greatest individual World Cup campaigns anyone has ever produced. Full stop. The moment everyone actually remembers from that final wasn't a goal. It was Messi trying to get an opponent sent off for covering his mouth. Now here's where the story turns, because the final itself was a completely different Messi than the one who produced those numbers. Spain won 1-0 in extra time, and by full time, pundits weren't just disappointed. They were stunned by how invisible Argentina's greatest player had become on the sport's biggest stage. During the match, Spain's Marc Cucurella briefly covered his mouth with his hand while speaking to another player. Messi immediately appealed to the referee, Slavko Vinčić, invoking a brand new FIFA rule introduced specifically for this World Cup. A rule allowing a red card if a player deliberately covers their mouth to conceal discriminatory language during a confrontation. It's a rule that had already been used once this tournament, sending off Miguel Almiron earlier in the competition. Officials reviewed it. They ruled that Cucurella's gesture didn't meet the threshold. Messi's appeal was rejected, and Spain went on to lift the trophy. But the reaction afterward was brutal. A former FIFA referee publicly called it unsportsmanlike and unacceptable. Former England international Lee Dixon criticized Messi directly. Fans who had defended Messi through every controversy of his career were suddenly calling it, in their own words, shameful. Messi making a fool of himself. One headline literally called him a baby. Think about the contradiction sitting right at the center of this moment. The same man who spent 6 weeks producing the most statistically dominant World Cup of his career was now trending for trying to get an opponent sent off over a hand gesture in the exact match where his own performance had gone completely silent. One final didn't create the GOAT debate. It just handed both sides new ammunition from the exact same player on the exact same night. So what does all of this actually mean for the GOAT debate? The argument that's followed Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo for almost 2 decades now. Here's the uncomfortable truth. This tournament gave both sides of that argument exactly what they wanted. If you're pro Messi, you point to the 20 career World Cup goals, the assist record, the 6 knockout goal contributions, the sheer statistical dominance across 33 career World Cup appearances. Numbers that, frankly, may never be matched by anyone. If you're skeptical of Messi or pro Ronaldo, you point to the final itself: 0 shots, a near invisible performance in the sport's single biggest match, a controversial and widely criticized attempt to get an opponent sent off, and a golden ball that went to someone else entirely. Both of those things are true about the exact same tournament, about the exact same player. Because the honest answer is that Messi's legacy was never going to be settled by one final. It was already built brick by brick across 2 decades and 33 World Cup appearances long before this one ever kicked off. So here's what I actually want to know from you. Does one bad final, with one genuinely bad look in the biggest moment of the tournament, change anything about a career that just broke a 60-year-old record? Drop your honest take in the comments and subscribe, because we're going to keep digging into the stories nobody else is covering properly.